Hello, I'm Katie Sellers. On this evening's show, we've got the latest on the regeneration of your city, and we'll be speaking to Sarah Harrison about International Women's Day. That's all tonight on Your Weekly Fix. Welcome to the first ever live broadcast of Spark TV's latest show, The Weekly Fix. We'll broadcast live online every week at 6 o'clock. We'll be bringing you the latest in local news and topical interviews on subjects which have affected Sunderland. Our team of journalists will also be working hard to bring you a weekly lineup of features to keep you entertained and informed. If you've only just discovered Spark Sunderland, there really is no need to go anywhere else. From radio, TV and magazine, we've got it covered. We are exclusively Sunderland. Over the last week, it has been announced that Sunderland's largest patch of wasteland will be redeveloped. The site has been taken over by Sunderland City Council and One North East. Carl Burden has the details.
The former Vaux Brewery site in Sunderland is to be transformed from a major dump into a metropolis. The site, situated next to the Weymouth Bridge, overlooks the River Wear and the Stadium of Light. Over the last few years, Sunderland City Council have been regenerating parts of the city. For years, this land has remained desolate, but has been sold by supermarket chain Tesco and bought by regional development agency One North East, who have planned to renovate the area and plan on building 2 new hotels, offices and homes. Areas like Sunnyside have already been given a complete facelift, improving the way we look at our city centre. Keith Thor, Head of Planning and Environment at Sunderland City Council, tells us a bit more about the Vaux site.
Clearly the Vaux site has been something which has been very topical. I think it's been number one on a lot of people's agendas in terms of what's happening not only in the city centre but throughout the rest of Sunderland. It's a crucial site. And that's why over the months and years the council has taken a pretty firm line in terms of what it sees for the future of the site.
The offices will be generating around 3,000 new jobs for the people of Sunderland. As well as this, there'll be new retail shops and 2 new hotels, which means a lot less unemployment. The North East is currently responsible for 10% of unemployment in the UK. Gemma Raymer is the General Manager of the Jubilee Centre. She helps people to find jobs and gives her opinion on the jobs that will be created from the Vaux site.
Sunderland has made some major steps to regeneration already, and it's great the changes in the city in the last sort of few years. And the potential for employment opportunities there is major, which is great to see our local people get those jobs, and it's really opening up the market that otherwise there's not there, and especially at a time when there's lots of work being lost.
Previous renovation projects include Sunnyside, which attracted over £50 million worth of profits in the last few years. The ongoing regeneration included a new £2 million public gardens, which are breathing new life into the area, and a £6 million arts and business centre, which is now completed. Anthony Morrissey, Conservative councillor for Barnes, says that the regeneration in Sunderland would be great, but it has been an idea that's been thrown around for a long time now.
The issue of regenerating Sunderland, it's a great idea. I think in reality it's maybe been more talked about than actually occurred. You mentioned the Vaux site, for example, which has been going for 11, 12 years now. Regeneration, obviously it depends on how it's regenerated. But there is a city master plan, there are blueprints in place for what we'd like to see over the next 10, 20, 30 years, which we'd all like to see realised. I think the problem we've had, even in the good years, back in the early part of the 2000s, when there was money sloshing around, or so it appeared, it wasn't in actuality, of course, but when there was money, some places got on the bandwagon, some cities did develop and regenerate. And at the end of it, we hadn't actually regenerated very much of anything.
This regeneration of the Vaux site will mean a brighter future for Sunderland. This is Carl Burden reporting for Spark News.
Thanks for that, Carl. You can find out more information about this story online. It's now a month since Niall Quinn issued a statement in which he says he despises fans who don't attend football grounds on home match days. His statement has since been echoed by key figures from the local football scene. In an unexpected twist, Niall has recently gained the support of some of Sunderland's most prominent pub owners. Lewis Hallam looks further into the situation.
When most people watch the football, they come to their local pub or head off into town. They sit down with their friends, order a few drinks, and then watch the match. But what most people don't realise is just how much money they're taking away from the club itself. The average price for a ticket for a Sunderland home game is £23. 3 drinks are £3 each comes to £9, and a £3 snack comes to £12. The result of £35 that isn't going towards the club. This doesn't seem like much. However, the last attendance of a game at the Stadium of Light was 41,000. The stadium has the capacity of 49,000 people, which when calculated means that the club has lost out on a staggering £280,000. Sunderland's last match against Arsenal was not broadcast on any English sports channel, so I wanted to find out just how easy it was to watch the game in a bar on a foreign channel. To my amazement, I found one only minutes after looking. There are numerous hotspots around Sunderland which are known for broadcasting Sunderland matches regularly, even if they aren't broadcast on any English channels. Just over a month ago, Sunderland chairman Niall Quinn said that he despises those who spend enough money when watching on a screen to be able to afford a ticket. He claims that thousands of Sunderland fans are snubbing the stadium in favour of doing just that. Martin McFadden, editor of Sunderland fanzine A Love Supreme, commented on Niall Quinn's statement.
Some people will go to matches occasionally, some people will go all the time, and I think he's obviously trying to get those extra people back. But at the same time, I think we've had some really good crowds recently, and there's an argument to say, like, what is he going on about? Has he ever paid to get into a football match in his life? Does he understand what the working man has gone through? And I think the answer to those questions are no. He's a millionaire chairman who pays himself an amazing salary to do a job that we'd all love to do. He's done brilliant for the club, but I think once you start criticising the fans, you need to get a hold of yourself.
The European Court of Justice suggests that European citizens should not legally be stopped from using foreign equipment and subscriptions to view the matches. However, Quinn has pleaded with his own club's stay-away fans to watch the team at the Stadium of Light. 2 weeks ago, Steve Bruce, manager of Sunderland, urged fans to help convince the club's owner, Ellis Short, to maintain his generous level of investment. They know that without regular attending crowds, the club won't get the investment that it needs to become a successful club. Despite the team's constant challenge to get a Europa League place, crowds at the majority of games have regularly fallen beneath 40,000 this season. However, Martin McFadden says the fans can't be criticised for this.
The club see the working man who makes sacrifices like not going on sort of holidays and doing what they can. Is, like I say, as a cash cow that's constantly milked throughout your lifetime. Players kiss the badge, say they love the club, and then move on to another club who pay them a little bit more money. But the fans remain, and they are the biggest thing about the club. And I think sort of causing confrontation and criticising the fans is probably like the biggest mistake you could ever make.
Although you are saving money by going to the bar to watch the match, is it really worth it to take the money away from the clubs? This is Lewis Hallam reporting for Spark News.
Thanks for that, Lewis. It's now time to go over to our think tank. Alex Warren is there with Spark FM's Sarah Harrison.
Hello, I'm Alex Warren and I'm here with Sarah Harrison, and she's going to be talking to us about International Women's Day. You were there for the 100th anniversary. What is Women's Day all about?
Yeah, International Women's Day is basically just a day that's set aside each year that celebrates the economic, political and social achievements of women. It was started up in 1911, so it was the 100th International Women's Day this year, and it's basically just a day where people all around the world get together and celebrate what it is to be a woman. And so in countries like China and Russia and places like that, they actually have an international holiday, national holiday, where they have the day off, and apparently husbands give their wives presents and boyfriends give girlfriends presents and stuff, and it's really celebrated, so it's a really, really good thing.
Yeah. So what happened this year in the region?
Spark FM went down to the Nidderdale Centre. That is a centre run by Gen 2, and they put on events for the elderly, and they were knitting a huge, massive blanket that they auctioned off, and I think they raised £120, or it could have been 140. I think it's £140 for Wearside Women in Need. So that's what they did. That was a really good thing.
All right. So do you think women really need a National Women's Day here in the UK, seeming as though we've got quite good rights for women?
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, I went out and spoke to people in Sunderland yesterday, and there's some quite mixed views, really. Some people think it's a really, really good thing because it raises awareness, and awareness is always good, because women are still discriminated against with pay, and they are more likely to be subject to domestic violence as well. So some people think it's a really good idea. Other people think it's positive discrimination, and actually setting a day just aside just for women is actually a step backwards. So
some people view it as a negative thing then?
Yeah, they do, yeah. They think that it's kind of like setting aside one day. It kind of says that the other days of the year are men's days, because there isn't an International Men's Day. So,
right.
So yeah, I don't know, it's quite an interesting issue. I'm not quite sure where I sit with it, to be honest, but yeah. No.
Okay, and what kind of international issues are there that set women back?
Well, as I say, women are paid less than men usually. They are more, usually they will be more sort of subject to domestic violence, domestic abuse, rape, things like that. And it is still quite prevalent in the world, not necessarily in the UK as much, but I think on an international scale it's still a big problem. So awareness still needs to be raised for this.
Do you think there should be more focus on governments putting more focus on women's rights rather than just normal? Yeah,
I think it's kind of an issue really that we shouldn't really have just one day for it. I think we need to sort of be focusing on the issues that are brought up and kind of focus on that.
Thanks for that, Sarah. We're going back to the studio. That's all we've got time for. Here's Katie.
Thanks, Alex. If you have a story that you'd like us to have featured on Spark, get in touch. And finally, lifeboat volunteers are always at hand when an emergency takes place on the waters of the Wearside. Carl Burden has been to find out more about Sunderland's RNLI.
The RNLI is a registered charity organisation that saves lives at sea. The charity depends on donations from the public and is run entirely by volunteers. I'm here at the Sunderland Lifeboat Station where I came to find out more about the charity and how it is run. The work that the RNLI does is just phenomenal, and the stats back this up. Since it was founded in 1824, its lifeboats have saved over 137,000 lives. The RNLI has a fleet of 332 lifeboats at 223 stations around the United Kingdom and Ireland. Paul Nicholson, who is the helmsman of the Sunderland RNLI service, told us the type of call-outs they usually receive.
We attend to vessels which have become broken down for one reason or another. That's normally the top contender for call-outs. Closely followed by people who's in difficulty in the water for one reason or another, whether that's swimming off a beach or falling into the water from another area. And thirdly, the other most popular call out is people becoming stranded by the rising tide. Getting is something that we do attend a lot to down here, both to the north and to the south, around Whitburn and Ryhope, where there's large sections of the coast which do become cut off during high tide.
For the type of call-outs they usually get, it takes a well-motivated group of volunteers to run the station and man the boat when a rescue is needed. The crew that man the lifeboat all have jobs that they can leave if there is an emergency or help is needed. They then proceed to the station where the lifeboat will be deployed 10 minutes after the call was made. To become a volunteer, a trainee must go through a series of tests to make sure he is up for the task. Paul also told us what kind of training the volunteers have to go through to become an RNLI crew member.
The RNLI will provide first-class training in all areas concerned, whether that be a VHF course, a first aid course. All the new recruits will attend the Lifeboat College at Poole to undergo training as a lifeboat crewman in the speciality of the boat that they work in. The training is second to none.
The job of an RNLI volunteer is never done, and with their help, the seas will always be a safer place. This is Carl Burden reporting for Spark News.
Thanks to Carl for that profile on Sunderland's lifeboat volunteers. We hope you enjoyed watching our first show. Again, if there's a story that you'd like us to cover, the address is on your screen now. Don't forget, if you missed any of this evening's Weekly Fix, you'll be able to catch up online. So until next time, why not keep in touch with Spark? Remember, we're available on 107 Spark FM and online at sparksunderland.com. I'm Katie Sellers and we're exclusively Sunderland.